now, listening to this. She's in the space probably, listening to everything that's going on, looking at Twitter and just laughing. You know what? I've got someone that wants to come on. Yeah, Ed. Ed, hello. Hello, Ed.
Hi. I would say obviously a lot of people would agree with a lot of what you're saying, but I think perhaps there has to be some perspective, and I just think that although we can disagree with the things he's done, he's still human, and it's worth considering that if thousands upon thousands, tens of thousands of people are all just hammering him hour upon hour, all day, all night. He can see lots of it. I'm sure he's reading lots of it. I just think we have to consider what that does to a person. Obviously, it's important that people have their say and make it clear why they disagree with what he's done. But I don't know how helpful it is to just pile on at people. Like, obviously it's tempting and we all feel opinions and stuff. But, after Caroline Flack, for example, we should learn as a society a little bit that perhaps there's got to be a limit to stuff like this, surely. What do you think?
You know what? I'm not agree with you. Yes, there is a limit, but there's certain things I'm not gonna shut my mouth about. There's certain things I will never shut my mouth about. Because you see racism, yeah? Racism, I'm not even gonna talk on racism. I'm pretty sure everyone knows the whole thing with racism. What has really pissed me off is the video. That is what's pissed me off. You've gone and you've posted a 7-minute video. You've gone and you said some of it, yes, is you, some of it isn't you. If he didn't really want the attention, or if all of this wasn't affecting him, do you think he would have put out that video?
Well, I mean, I think it's
Why? No, why do you think he's gone and put out that? Because even when he's put out the video, it's dark. So he's recorded that video last night when everything's been leaked. So he's seen it because he was trending #1 yesterday. So he's gone and seen that, and he's like, shit, let me put a statement out and let me see what people are saying. So he wants to see what people are saying. All of this, don't get me wrong, I take all of the, the suicide, all of that, we take that serious. That ain't a joke. Yeah, because people, they can actually go crazy off you know what I mean? And they can do something, out of this world. Yeah. But all I'm saying is sometimes certain people need to be held accountable.
I think, yeah, of course, and holding people accountable is part of society, and that happens with, like, the justice system, and also within friendship groups and on social media and that kind of thing. But there's perhaps a way of doing it that's more constructive, I think. And I think that obviously,
So what other ways more constructive?
well, so for example, if he posts a video, we're all within our right, I think, to comment on it and say, I agree with this, but I don't agree with this. You haven't really responded to this element, blah blah blah. And that could be, one way of doing it. And there's a way of being critical of someone on social media without turning them into sort of, like a social pariah. I think
He's
that, I
done that
mean,
to himself. He's turned himself into a
well,
social
yes,
pariah.
but lots of people do lots of things all the time. But if every time someone did something wrong, it turned into this level of, I mean, this is quite extreme what I've seen today, the reaction. And I
What?
think
So don't
that,
you think what he said is extreme? Don't
of
you think
course it
that's
is.
what? Don't you
Of
think
course it
that's
is. But
extreme?
I do think that the reaction today is probably disproportionate. That doesn't mean that there should be no reaction and that it shouldn't be criticized. But there
No,
is
no, no,
such a
no. Do you
thing
know
as a
what it is? Do you know what it is,
disproportionate.
Ed? Yeah. When it comes to things like this, black people, why do we always have to be forgiven? Why do we always have to be forgiven? That's the problem. Right now, he's going to be held accountable for what he said.
Well,
That type of
I'd say
bullshit
that's
is
already
going to
happened.
be
I
swept
just
under. If it was
if
someone else, it would have been swept under the rug. We're going to hold him accountable.
well, I
He's going to
think
know that type of shit, you can't be saying that.
well, yeah, and I agree with you on that, of course. And I don't really like no one logically, no one with it in their right mind wants to see racism in any
Because when it
form
happens
on
to
social
all the
media.
other cultures, yeah, when it happens to all the other cultures, people apologize, they say sorry, blah, blah, blah. When it's black people, no, people make a meme out of it. They don't care. They have a laugh. It's like a national holiday. Look at the Kurt Zuma situation with the cat. Till this day, go to West Ham Stadium, they're still singing that song. And that's the
Well,
harsh reality.
my
That's the
concern
harsh
is
reality. All
my
the
con-
other communities, when they go through it, oh, it's everyone is forgiven. People apologize. They say sorry. But when it comes to the black community, no, let's take the piss. Let's sweep it under the rug. Let's turn the blind eye. We're not turning no blind eye. You're going to be
what
held accountable, especially for a certain someone that has used our culture to get to the point where he's at right now.
look, there's a debate to be had about what you're saying, and I don't necessarily disagree with some of it. But the
There
point
is
I'm
no
make
debate. It's
the
facts.
well, the
He's
point
used
I'm
our culture to get to the point where he is. If you do history on him, the how he's got to to the point where he's at right now, he used to document and talk on the urban black community and what happens and what goes on. So Ed, if you want to do some research, you'll see that he's talking on our community. And you know what? We've allowed him in. And he's gone and he's thrown it back in our face. And you will be held accountable. We're not gonna sweep it under the rug. We're not gonna turn a blind eye.
so this obviously happens a lot when someone behaves in a certain way on Love Island, for example, or if someone behaves a certain way from a reality show and they're seen behave, having a fight in the street or something, right? When it happens to a reality star, they've got an agent, a manager, a TV channel, support available to help them deal with sort of a large scale onslaught,
If
whether it's
he can't
justified or
take
not.
it, okay,
But
you know
this
what, Ed? If he can't take it, he should turn off his phone.
Well, that's easier said than done. But the problem often with people who are in these positions is they're very young. And if I got trolled for something I'd done, I would just turn my phone off.
People
But I
get
mean, but
cancelled nearly every day. People get
right,
cancelled nearly every day.
but
Why? Because it's a non-black person. We should feel sorry for him now.
it's not. I'm not talking about him any differently because he's black or not. I'm talking about him. My concern is that
Okay,
because
then
he's
where was all of this? Where was all of this when Wiley got cancelled? Where was all of this when it happened to Wiley?
well, I wouldn't agree with hour upon hour and thousands upon thousands of people talking
The
just
whole
in
nation was
such a way.
against
No,
Wiley. The whole nation
well,
was against Wiley.
well,
Kurt
I would
Zuma kicked a cat. They spoke about it everywhere.
Well,
They wiped the
I would
floor with
say
that
that
whole story.
there's always there's it's always acceptable for there to be outrage at certain things, but there has to be a limit. The person at the other end of it is still, they're not out and out evil. We're not talking about the Yorkshire Ripper here. We're talking about someone who's done something wrong. We all do things that are wrong. Now, I've never done anything this on racist, but we've all done things wrong to different extents, and you have to think there has to be a point at which the onslaught has to be limited to. And if someone's off a TV show, like I say, they've got manager, agents, TV channel. He is just. I'm assuming he doesn't have those things. So he's just a person in a bedroom right now, reading reams and reams of abuse. I don't see that that's constructive or helping
No,
anything.
because the thing is, right, all of this gets thrown back in our face. That's why. It's like, do you know what it is? Because it makes our community look like a laughing stock. How someone could come and make a career out of our community, yeah, where I'll be honest, even looking from that video, he's got a nice pad, he's living in a nice house, yeah, all off of the content and the traumas and the stuff that we go through in our own community. He's been documenting on his YouTube channel. He's been talking on the black what happens in the black community and all the gossip and everything. He's been talking about it in it on his YouTube channel. But then because who he is, we need to and because he's mentioned suicide and what's it called, violence and rape. We should feel sorry for him and we should turn a blind eye to all the racist stuff he said.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm
Because
not saying we
no,
should
because
feel
the
sorry
thing
for
is
him,
right.
and I'm not
The
saying
thing
any.
is right. I'm not saying that you're saying that, but what
Right.
I'm saying is the thing is right. What then happens is people then start looking at us like a joke, which they already do. Let's be real. They don't take us
Well, some
serious.
people might.
That's why no, that's why they do it, and that's why they say these type of things, because they know they'll get away with it. How many people have been outed, exposed on air, live? They've said racist stuff, and it's been swept under the rug. But the minute a black person steps out of line, oh my God, they are practicing full HR action on you in all angles, any way possible. And that's why we're upset. So I understand where you're coming from. Oh, he must be going through a lot right now. He might not be able to handle it, the onslaught. Yes, I do understand. There's only so much that a person can take, and there's only so much that we should be given. But we need to make this known that you cannot come into our community and take the piss and think you can sweep shit like this under the rug, because that's
Okay,
not going
so
to happen.
so the reason you think this is important more than just him is that you feel that the case is that black people, when they do something, are treat get
That's
much
no, no,
more
no. That's one
much
of the reasons. There's so many other
right.
reasons. So many other reasons. That's one of the reasons. One of the little minor reasons. There are so many reasons to why we're upset with that, with all of that. He's a culture vulture. That's what he is. So many other reasons to why we are upset. He's infiltrated our culture. He's used our culture, and it's worked out for him. He's out. He's now on Love Island. He's getting all it. He was not on Love Island, but he's getting a lot of the people on there or on the show on YouTube, which he's monetizing from. But then behind closed doors, not even that, publicly, he's supporting black women. He's pushing all this black women, that. BLM, Black Lives Matter, all of this. I've got black friends, but then this is what you're doing behind closed doors.
So when
You know
did
what?
this?
The
When
the,
did?
the fetish and the acts that he's doing, you know what? Even though I find that weird, do what you want to do. Yeah. But it's
Yeah.
the things that you're saying, the race play, some of the stuff that you said on there. And the thing is, you've said it on camera and you've put it up on Tumblr and you've tried to lie. Like, even
Yeah.
that, and then he
That was
and then what one thing that we're also upset with is in the apology video that he dropped this morning, yeah, which was 7 minutes long, yeah, he shows no accountability for what he said. He literally mentioned it for like maybe a second or two. And then he starts talking about, oh, why does he keep doing this to me? Like, mate, I don't care. I don't give a fuck about that. You can go and sell that sub story to someone else. Yeah? What we want you to do is address all of that racist bullshit that you said in those videos and the racist post that he also posted on that Tumblr post.
so
That's what we're pissed off
when did
about.
he
He
when
needs
did
to be accountable for himself. He needs to own up because everyone knows it's him. It's very obvious that it's him. And he needs to come out and he needs to hold corn. That's what needs to happen.
so in what way do you want to hold him to account?
What do you mean? In what way do you want?
Well, you say you want him to be held
He needs to
accountable.
address everything, all the racist stuff that he has said in those leaked posts and videos. He has to address everything. Do you know what it is? Because Ed, you're a white man. You don't understand how disrespectful some of these things are.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
No, I'm being honest. I'm not
Yeah, no,
being rude.
I
I'm being
agree with you.
honest.
Obviously, I can't be,
You're
I
a
can't.
white man. You don't
Yeah.
understand how disrespectful, how dehumanizing some of these things are. That's why you're saying some of these things, because I'm pretty sure you don't care.
Well,
It's not about understanding. There's
that's
nothing
not
to
true.
understand.
That's not. I don't think you should. You can't assume I don't care. I would.
Well,
I would.
really, do you really care? Do you really care? Let's be honest, Ed. Do you really care?
Well,
I'm
yes,
asking you. I just want to know. Do you really care? So,
yes.
okay. About this story, what do you care about? About everything
Well,
that's come out, what do you
there's
care
many
about?
different aspects to it. The 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 thing I've spoken to you about so far is there's an extent to. I feel like the onslaught should be limited at a certain point. That doesn't mean that's my only opinion on this. If the
Okay,
question,
so
if you
your
pose,
onslaught.
if your first question to me was what do you think of what he said in these videos, I would obviously condemn it and say that it's something that should be taken really seriously and he should
Even from
apologize
the
for it.
tone, the way you're talking to me, I get it. Obviously, you're not triggered, and you wouldn't be triggered because you don't understand how disrespectful this is.
But that
But
doesn't
I'm
mean I
being
don't care
100%.
about it or think it's important.
I don't know. I don't know. You might care, you might not. A lot of people, you know what, talk is cheap. I don't know if you really do. Only you know.
Okay.
So if you're claiming you care, then you know what, maybe you do. I do not know. All I'm saying is, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you here. Yeah, he needs to be held accountable. The onslaught and and all the hate that is coming his way. I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to take it. We're the people that brought you to this stage that you're at right now. If it wasn't for us, you wouldn't be here. And you've now used us and you've thrown it back in our face. Are you fucking crazy? You think you can come and do that behind closed doors, but then come on camera and say all of this? Oh, Black Lives Matter. Oh, black this, black that. Let's push black businesses, black women, like all of that. You think you can do all of that to come and use us? And then now that you've been exposed, you're here using a fake sub story for us to feel sorry for you. No, sorry, not today. He deserves everything that is coming his way. Everything that is coming his way, he deserves it. And that's that. And you might think, you know what, I don't understand why you feel like that. And I've already said the reason why you don't understand why I feel like this is because you're a white man. I'm a black man. That's the harsh reality.
Yeah, and I'm not
You're
claiming
not gonna know. You're
I,
not gonna
I'm
understand because
I'm not
I'm not gonna
claiming.
sit here and do pity me, all of that. No, we're not gonna do that. Yeah. But what listen, what we go through, yeah, you don't get an answer to that. Yeah.
I
So I'm not
understand
gonna
that.
sit here and do the pity me or let's feel sorry. No, we're not gonna do any of that. Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure as black people, a lot of black people in here right now, all of you lot know what I'm talking about. This guy, he has to be held accountable. And that video that he's put up, it's made it even worse. But you know what, Ed? As you are on the stage, I want to ask you, what is your honest opinion on everything?
Well, obviously, I think what he's done in that video is terrible, and I completely appreciate that I can't understand what it would feel like as a black person to watch that video.
It's not
I
just a
mean,
video, it's pictures, it's
well,
tweets, it's
yeah.
posts, it's a lot.
So I mean, I don't like to hear those things. So obviously, for you, it's a completely different story, and I appreciate that, and I understand that that's why there's so much anger about it. I'm not denying that there should be anger and that it's correct that there's anger. My only point originally was that he's still a person, and there has to be some consideration about how far the criticism goes. Just because,
How far the criticism goes. What,
yeah,
just
and that's not.
because he's a human being? I'll be honest, right? Did he think about that when he was saying when he was saying all of those stuff in his videos?
Well, look, you can disagree with me and think that the
Okay, you
criticism
know what?
it
This is
should
your
be
opinion.
limitless.
I'll let you land because I don't really want to be going back and forth. But you know what? You land and say everything that you want to say.
Well, it like this is just my opinion. You have yours. Like you say, I feel like even when someone's done something abhorrent, which I agree with you, this is abhorrent. Even in that scenario, there has to be a limit of how far the criticism goes and how big the onslaught becomes,
Yeah.
because he's still a person at the end of the day, and lots of people do lots of bad things, and there has to be a limit to it. But if you feel like there isn't, there shouldn't be a limit, then that is your view, and you are welcome. You've got free speech. You can talk about him on social media, and have discussions like this, and monologues for as long as you want. I'm not. No one's going to stop you.
No, no, listen,
That's
no one
your
can ever
choice.
stop me. No one can ever stop me.
Yeah, and I agree with you, and
No
that's
one can ever
fine.
stop me. And the thing is, right, I'm gonna be very respectful here. Yeah, like like even what you're saying can never stop me. If you're my monologues, if you don't like it, I couldn't care. But all I'm saying is, Ed, you're saying that because he's a human being, it comes to a certain point where people would have to put a stop to this. So when George Floyd died, did they think of that? Did they think of that? When the guy that killed George Floyd, did you think that did you? I'm asking you now. Did you think that there was a certain point where they should stop all the hate to the guy that killed George Floyd? Do you think that? I'm asking you.
I mean, that was just. I mean, with that,
Because he's calling these guys slaves, niggers,
yeah,
you're
I
this,
understand.
you're that, and then you've got black people getting killed for, let's be real, nothing really. And what? So you're saying there should be a cap on how much hate or backlash people should get when they're talking on racist things, or when they say racist things or do racist things. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I think you're misunderstanding that.
No, no, no. I'm
I was
getting your
trying.
point. I'm
Okay,
getting.
so
I'm
fine.
no. I'm getting your
So
point, and I'm
when
getting your
when I
angle.
first spoke to you, I was
No, no,
trying.
no, no, no. Ed, Ed. I'm asking you. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I'm going to
what you
answer you.
said earlier on. You said that because he's a human being, we don't know what he's going through. There should be there should be a cap on how much criticism and backlash he's facing. So the guy that killed George Floyd, do you think that there should be, or there should have been, a cap of the amount of criticism and backlash and hate that he got? It's a simple question.
Well, I mean, obviously what's happened here is serious, but I would say the George Floyd
Oh,
thing
so
is obviously far more serious. I
it's still
think.
racism.
Okay, so for example, with
It's
the
still
George Floyd,
racism. It's still racism.
yeah, I understand that.
And it's still spewing hate.
With the George Floyd scenario, for example, the justice system is in Britain, for example, is not limitless. There's a limit to how much you can punish someone. We don't have capital punishment, for example. So, you know, within that scenario, society in America, the justice system has they've put a limit on the punishment, haven't they? So they've punished them as they rightly should, obviously, but there is a limit to what they've done. Now, would you think in that scenario they should have taken it to the nth degree and given them the electric chair and killed them? Because that's the furthest you could take it. So they've put a cap on it there, haven't they? And
Sorry,
that's
could you just repeat that?
so with the George Floyd sentencing, they've capped it at a jail term. They haven't taken it to killing them, which they do sometimes do in America, don't they? They have capital punishment in America, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the justice system there has capped the punishment at a jail term and not taken it further for capital punishment. We don't have that here, obviously. So all crimes, all punishment for crimes here is capped at, with a jail term for X number of years. So even in that scenario, there's a limit to how far you take it when someone's done something bad in the society that we live in. And I think with social media and what we're dealing with here, it's obviously completely just that there's anger. I get that, and I agree with that. And I'm saying there has to be it has to be done in a way that's constructive, and it eventually has some sort of limit to it.
So
I don't
you're
know how,
telling, okay, so you're telling black people that it should be done in a way where it's constructive. So you know what? Let me ask your opinion of how it would be constructive. I want to know.
well, I think having constructive debates about why he's done what he's done and how
Oh
we
my
can.
God, Ed, what are
I
you
mean, I'm not
saying?
telling. Yeah, I'm not telling
Ed,
black
what are
people what
you
to do.
saying?
You're saying to me, I'm telling
Why
black
would
people
we
what to do.
have constructive
I'm not
debates?
telling black people anything
Why would
specifically.
black people
Lots
have
of people,
constructive debates?
not
What are
well.
you talking about? Why? No, 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 Ed. Listen to what you just said. Why would black people have constructive debates about why he done what he done? Are you hearing yourself?
I'm I've never given advice specifically for black people on this.
You just
I'm
said
talking.
it just now. What are you talking about? You just went and said. I asked you what advice or what do you think people should do? You went and said, "Oh, people should go and do constructive debates about why he done what he done." So you're saying black people should do constructive debates about why he done what he done. Why would black people want to do constructive debates about why he done what he done? Are you like? We really think we want to sit here and debate why we know why he done what he done. We don't want to sit here and debate why this guy done what he done. What?
Okay, so what's the opposite of being constructive?
What we're doing right now is constructive. What I'm doing right now is constructive because you see what I'm doing. This will reach him. He'll know this and he will be held accountable and he will have to address everything that he said. And I hope I'm happy. Listen, he deserves everything that is coming his way. Because I'm telling you now, yeah, you see this guy, if I see him on another TV screen hosting whatever, you know what, bro? Then we're gonna have to move the professional way to pop this youth down, because there's no way this guy's getting away with this. You telling me black people should do they should have constructive debates on why he done what he done? You really think black people want to sit down and talk about Murad and why he put his feet on a black guy and said he's a slave and a nigger, and no one likes him because he's a nigger, and no one loves him because he's a nigger? You really think people want to debate? Why would Murad say that? Let's debate and see why Murad said that. You really think black people want to do that? Why would black people want to do that for? This is what I'm saying. Some of the stuff that you're saying, it's like, it's not making sense. It's not making sense at all, Ed.
Well, I think you've missed my point, but that's not the biggest problem. Look, I think, like I say, I've only brought a new perspective to this because there was no one talking with you, and I thought it would be useful to have a different perspective and discuss it.
Okay, Ed, okay, just to inform you, right, because earlier on you said something funny about monologue and all of that, and you're talking to yourself. If you've researched me and you know why I'm very famous on Twitter, is because I come on spaces and I give monologues.
Okay.
I talk to the whole crowd. I talk to thousands of people with just me on a stage. I don't need to have someone on here to carry on the conversation. That's why I'm very well known. If you do research about me, everything will come up. I've had some very big people on here that I've interviewed. I don't even need to justify myself to you. But when you're saying things like monologue and all of that to try and, I don't know what you're trying to do, if you're trying to
The
sound
word
funny,
monologue. The word
but it's not
monologue is
funny.
the word
It's not
monologue is
funny.
just a factual thing. It's not. There's no criticism
Okay,
with the
but
word
the way you're
monologue.
saying it is like, is a bit, it's like it was a funny joke. I'm just saying,
Well, that's not what. That
well,
was not the intention of
we're having a serious, well, I'm having a serious monologue right now,
right.
and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are enjoying this monologue that I'm giving them. And the thing is, if you don't like it, you can always go.
I've no point have I said that I disagree with you speaking your mind
Then
or
what? But
having a
earlier
monologue.
on, you said you're on stage and you're having this monologue, talking to yourself. What's the problem with me talking to myself?
At what point did I say there was a
You
problem?
said that earlier, but the way you said it is as if there's a problem, like
Well, I've told you
you're
that's not the
bored,
way I
or
meant
like
it.
you're
So,
here. You said you're here talking to yourself on a space. You're having a monologue, and it's just like you can do this in a more constructive way. So you do have an issue because you feel as if it's not the right way to do it.
well, I don't
So
think
so now
I
you do.
don't
You see
I
what I'm
don't think
saying?
it's I don't think when someone I've made my point already, but I don't think when someone's done something heinous like this, it's constructive for everyone to just pile on. No,
No,
and
no,
that's my
it is, because
okay.
we
Well,
need
then
to
we
make sure people like that are named and shamed, and
okay.
they
Well,
are
look, we
known, because this is not acceptable. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of these people, you wouldn't say it to my face though. So why do you have such a problem with me coming on a space and having a monologue about how I'm talking about this racist, basically doing all of this behind closed doors, but then on the internet, on camera, he's here showing his fake image of support black businesses, support black people, BLM? Why do you have a problem with me doing that?
there's I've no at no
We
point
don't
said I have
tolerate
a problem with it.
racism. Zero tolerance.
Yeah, I
We
agree
don't
with you
tolerate.
on that. I've made that
Racism is
clear.
not a joke. You're not taking it serious because you don't know what racism is. You don't know what it feels like.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I've accepted that. I've got no issue with you having your say about this.
But earlier on, it sounded like you did. And you keep contradicting yourself. First, you have an issue. Now you don't. Now you ain't got an issue again. But then later on, you're going to say, oh, you doing a Twitter space. It's better, like you could. It would be more constructive if you was to debate with black people onto why he would
Well,
say all
you
of this.
keep saying
Like,
that. That's not what I said.
you said that earlier
My
on.
my my point at the initial point was
You
not
know
to
what,
black
mate?
people. It was to
Are
everybody.
you? Do you have memory loss or something? Because it's like you can't even remember the stuff you're saying. Everything that I'm saying is what you have said.
Well, it's your
I'm
interpretation of
not
it.
even trying to be rude to you here. Like I'm trying to be very respectful
Hmm.
because it's like, are you trolling or something? Is that what you're doing? Do you think this is all a joke to you? Because if someone was homophobic, you wouldn't be saying all of this, would you?
I've told you many times. I think that what he's done is awful.
Ed,
And
Ed,
you
if
said,
someone was homophobic, you wouldn't be saying all of this. You would be supporting anyone that is doing what I'm doing right now, going against a person who done that homophobic act.
I would feel
But
exactly the
because it's
same.
me talking
I would have
about
made.
racism and you're trying to shut this down, you
I'm not
see
trying
the
to shut
example
anything
that he's
down.
trying to show again. You
I'm not
want
saying
me to stop all of this and
that's
you
not what
want
I've
this to
said.
be shoved under the rug, innit? That's what you want me to
That's
do,
not
innit?
what I've said.
It
You've
sounds like it.
Well, yeah, it sounds like
It
it.
sounds like
That's
it.
your
It
interpretation.
does.
That's not
It
what
sounds.
I've said.
It's a lot of the, check the hashtag.
Don't
Is
put
what a
words
lot
in
of the
my
listeners
mouth.
are saying as
Don't
well.
put words in my mouth. That is
Why are
not
you
what I said.
shouting at me? Are
I
you
didn't
triggered
say
because I've caught you out?
I've
Are
shout,
you triggered
I've
because I've
raised my
caught you
voice
out?
because you're putting words
Why
in
are
my
you
mouth
getting
that are not
angry? Why
true
are you getting angry? I'm talking to you normally. Why are you shouting for?
because you're putting words in my mouth. No, that's not
No,
what I've
because
said.
I'm repeating what you're saying.
No, you're interpreting it and then repeating it back
I'm
in what you
repeating
think
what
I've
you're
said.
saying, and I'm telling you what it sounds like.
Yes, to you, but it is
A
often
lot of the
what
people, it
your
sounds like it
interpretation
to
of what I'm
them as
saying has been
well. Read
incorrect.
the hashtag, Ed. Read the hashtag. It sounds like it to them too. Ed, I thought you was gonna come up on here and, actually say something like constructive yourself. But you've come up on it and you're telling black people to have constructive debates, but nothing that you've said is constructive tonight. Haven't you realized? Not one thing you said is constructive.
Well, that's subjective, isn't it? I mean, it's.
So, Ed,
I would
tell me,
say.
what have you said that is constructive, please?
Well, my initial point that
Telling
there has.
black people to have debates about why he's
Oh,
done all of this.
you keep saying that to me. That is really not what I meant, and you've taken that. That's not what I meant at all.
But you said it. I'm repeating what you said. So what are you talking about, Ed? This is what I'm saying, Ed. It's like, are you trolling or what?
Look, I think that at this point,
Do
I
you
think we're
think
gonna.
this is all a joke? Do you think this is funny?
There's absolutely no part of me that thinks this is funny,
Yeah,
and I don't
I think
think.
you do. I think you
I
do
mean,
because it's like you're contradicting yourself here. You're like, I think, mate, you're gonna go into work tomorrow and you're gonna tell everyone, "Oh, I trolled that famous AZZ guy on Twitter about, or that Murad guy that he was talking about." That's what you're gonna do. You find this funny, don't you?
there's absolutely no.
Because people like you, racism doesn't affect you.
That
So
doesn't mean I
you
don't
even
think it's
coming up on
important.
here, you know people aren't gonna be happy.
That doesn't mean I don't think
But I
racism.
welcome anyone. I let anyone come on the stage.
There is nothing. There's no reason to think that I don't think racism is an issue and important and should be taken in really very seriously. I've told you numerous times during this conversation that I think what he's done is abhorrent and should be dealt with, and I don't think he should have a platform in the future as a result. I think it's appalling what he's done, and I have listened to what you've said, and I have some understanding of why it's such a big issue. I get it. I understand that. I'm not negating that at all.
So then why are you
My
coming
point.
up on here, Ed, and telling us that we should put a cap to what we're giving him? The
Well,
all the
because
to
I've seen
all the backlash he's getting, there should be a cap.
because
What?
I've
Because he's a
seen
human.
because we have seen many times over the years when somebody is trolled to a large extent, it can end very badly. That's why
I
I.
can understand that, but
Well,
you see
that
this,
was all my point.
but you see
That was
this,
really my point.
but why? But yeah, but the thing is, look, you're sympathizing for him, but why don't people sympathize when it's black people that are at hand? Why do they always throw it under the rug? They don't care. No one gives a crap.
Well, I agree that's an issue, and I completely
They
both
don't.
things
They
can
don't
be
give a
true.
crap. But when it's a non-black person, you get people from everywhere coming out. Oh, let's stop. Let's stop this. Let's stop all of this. Enough is enough. Why? Why do you think that is?
Well, people who say the things you've just described, that is a form of racism. I understand that.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. Yeah, I think you've come up on here to troll.
That's
Let's
not
be
the
real.
case at all. I just came on to give a different perspective, and if you don't agree with me, that's
No, no,
absolutely
no. Listen,
your right.
listen. No, everyone is entitled to their opinion on here,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the way you're coming across. You're contradicting yourself. Everything it's like I can see what you're trying to do. I know what you're trying to do. I can see it. I know what's going on. I know what's going on. But you know what, Ed? I'm gonna ask you this one more thing. Yeah, this whole situation now. What do you think happens now?
Well, my feeling on with things like this is that the most powerful thing everyone could do is unfollow him, not watch his videos, not take any interest in him, because the thing that he loves the most, I'm assuming, is the oxygen of influence and publicity and views. So if you take that away, then he's got no power to say things that he shouldn't be saying and things like that. That to me is the most powerful thing you can do. And then what that does is that sends a message to other influencers and people on YouTube and things like that, that this is not acceptable. You can't do these things. If you do, people are not going to have any interest in you, and your career online in an online space is not going to exist anymore. To me, that is a constructive way of dealing with it. But I appreciate you're coming at this from a different issue. I think this is a much more nuanced topic than we've probably been able to do. I think it's more nuanced than the way we've been discussing it. My point was really more general. It wasn't about him specifically. It was about pylons in general, because we've literally had reality TV stars kill themselves, and I just think we have to take that into account. I'm not denouncing a lot of what you're saying. I completely understand it and I respect it fully, but both things can be true.
Well, what can be true? What can be true?
Well, it's true that there is rightful anger for lots of reasons that you've described. It's also true that people have killed themselves when they've been
Yes, I know
at
that.
the
No, I've
center of a
acknowledged
pylon,
that.
and that has to
But
be considered. You
no,
can
no, no.
be
It has
angry
to
at
be. No, no, no.
someone,
It has to be. It has to be considered. I fully understand that.
so then we
But
don't
Ed,
disagree really.
Ed. I've heard that apparently you are a big troll on Twitter, and you was trolling a black woman. What's all that about? Why was you trolling Beyonce?
I mean, I don't think I've ever tweeted Beyonce.
Yeah, look at the jumbotron. They found receipts about you. Why are you trolling Beyonce?
I mean, I'm not a massive
Why
fan
are
of
you why are
Beyonce.
you bullying black women on Twitter?
I mean, I'm a big fan of plenty of black celebrities, and I'm not a fan of other black celebrities. There's
It
really no.
doesn't matter if you're a big fan of so many black celebrities. Why do like people always say that? Oh, I'm a fan of so many black people, so I'm not racist, or I don't have no agenda against black people. Why do people keep saying that? There
So
are
if I'm not
people that have black children and they are still racist.
so if I'm not a fan of Beyonce, that means I don't like her because she's black. I'm not a fan of Beyonce because
Why are
I'm not
you?
a
I'm
fan of Beyonce.
asking you. No, 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 no. You're not answering a question. What is your
Okay.
problem with Beyonce? Why are you trolling her on Twitter? What's your problem with Beyonce?
I'm just not really a fan of her music. I think she's overrated. That's not because she's black. It's because I don't think her music's that great.
So that made you go and troll her on Twitter
I mean, I
because
don't
this
think I've.
post has got nothing to do with Beyonce's music.
Well, what have I said? I mean, I don't remember tweeting about Beyonce of late.
You don't.
No.
Why did Madonna have to include Nicki Minaj on her new album? Ruins a perfectly good song with Nicki's odd singing.
Right. Well, I'm not a fan of Nicki Minaj either.
Oh,
What?
so another black woman you're not a fan of.
Okay. Well, I think you're clutching at straws here.
No, no, no. Who else aren't you a fan of? You might as well tell me now because I don't want to
I'm
read out
not.
more
I'm
people.
not a
And then
fan
you
of
tell me.
Adele. I'm not a fan of Cheryl. I'm not. I mean, there's loads of people I'm not a fan of. I can't be a fan of every artist. I think you're taking two and two and making 10 at this point.
No, I'm not. I'm not. Like,
Okay. Well,
it's
look,
not
we're gonna
adding
have
up
to.
because, like, Do you know what it is? You've come on, like, there's a girl called Shauna, and you want to request, come up, yeah? Car, she's gone and tweeted that apparently, and you see Cheryl was married to a black man. You see, I can see, it's all adding up. Wow. Listen,
Okay, I'm gonna go now. This is
No, you
this
can
is
go, but I'm going
yeah.
to say this, Ed. I'm going to say this, Ed, yeah? I'm gonna say this, Ed. Everything that you've said, yeah, today, it's not been constructive. You fully contradicted yourself every single time, um, and it's like you're trolling. There's a lady called Shauna. She's just gone and tweeted. She's basically just gone and said that apparently you are a very famous troll. You're a very famous troll. You're a big troll. You're one of the biggest trolls on Twitter. And apparently you exposed yourself as a racist as well.
Okay, right. I think we're gonna have to respectfully agree to disagree. All right.
But what I'm seeing all the receipts here right now. You expose yourself as a rapist. Rapist? Well, no, not rapist. Racist. So Ed, this is what I'm saying. Like, you're coming on there and you've trolled. You know what you're doing. You're trolling here. You've come on here when we're having a serious discussion about racism and about someone that has used our culture to benefit and to get him to a point where, let's be real, he's probably changed his life. And then he's come out behind the scenes, it's come out that he's doing all of this hateful stuff. And you're coming on there and it's like you're trolling. You find it funny, like it's a joke. Some of the things that you're saying, you're not taking it serious. Like, it's like you're trolling, you're contradicting yourself. Like, the only person that isn't constructive or isn't saying anything constructive is yourself, Ed. It's literally yourself. This is what I'm saying, Ed. Like, what do you have to say? You might as well come off mute. There's no point hiding on mute. You're on the stage now.
I
You're
mean, I
still.
said to you, I think we're gonna just have to agree to disagree. I mean, I've given my perspective, and you've given yours, and you don't feel like there should be any sort of cap. I feel like there has to be a limit to this sort of thing.
And
You've
then you're
now,
saying things like Beyonce takes tacky photos.
well, she did. That doesn't mean I'm racist. If you think I'm
No, I'm
racist,
not
then
saying you're
you're
racist.
mistaken.
I'm not saying you're racist,
Right.
but it seems like you've got a certain agenda.
Well,
Why
that's
does
not true.
Beyonce insist on doing countless tacky photos during this pregnancy? There's no one telling
Yeah.
her it looks awful.
Yeah. That's not
Like,
because
and
she's
it's like
black.
you've got a lot of hate on black
Okay.
women
Well,
around you and on your page.
okay. Well, I've, there's really no basis to what you're saying. It's
There's a lot of bases.
okay.
It's all your own tweets. This is all that they've dug up from your own Twitter page.
Okay. I'm going now.
Like, this is what happens when people get caught out. When they get found out, they come and they say shit like this. You're a troll. I'll be honest, yeah. You see you, Ed, you know what, mate? I shouldn't even know raise you up. I'll be honest. You can stay there and you can hide on mute. I'm not saying you're a racist, but everything that you've done tonight is adding up with your tweets. God, they're just digging them up. They're digging them all up. All of your old tweets, they're digging them up. I don't ever use the word out of respect, but if someone else uses it as an explanation, then the meaning is not the. You see what I'm saying? The meaning's not derogatory, I'd say. So, like, what is your opinion on the M word, Ed? Ed, you're on mute. You're on the stage. You might as well come on mute and answer all this. A very popular person has come and exposed you on the hashtag anyway, saying that you're a very big troll on here. So you might as well come out and say, what is your opinion on the M word? All of
Well,
this is stuff that you've tweeted. So say it with your chest. You've come up on there and you've played. You're acting like a clown here, yeah. and you're thinking that you're not, like, and you've got all of these opinions on black people and the black community and what we do and how we talk and what we look like. I'm not saying you're racist here, but everything's adding up. So I just want to ask you, what is your opinion on the M word? Because these are stuff that you've tweeted.
Well, I wouldn't use that word.
No, I'm asking you, what is your opinion on it?
Well, I wouldn't use it. If someone wants to use it, that's their business, but I wouldn't use it. And if I wouldn't want to see someone use it personally, but I don't really.
You see, you're doing the thing again. You're contradicting yourself again. You see, this guy's trolling because you've just tweeted that if someone else used it, then I wouldn't care because it's not derogatory, is it?
Well, I
So
think
you
it is
don't care if someone else
in
uses
my
it.
mind, it
But
is a
right
derogatory.
now, you just said,
In
"Oh,
my
I
mind,
don't
it
like
is
some." But
in
right
my.
now, you just said, "I don't like other people using it." You
Well, I
just said it
don't
just
really.
now, and now you're
I,
saying you don't like people using it.
I think it's a derogatory term, so I wouldn't use it.
Man, you're a troll.
Okay.
Or expert claims Alexandra Burke is too black to win Strictly, or Oduba won last year. So this expert is talking a load of rubbish. Like, expert claims Alexandra Burke is too black to win Strictly, or Oduba won last year. So this expert is. You see what I'm saying? You see, like, you've got an agenda against black people, don't you? I'm not saying you're racist, but from your tweets, it looks like it. Let's be honest. It looks like you've got an agenda. Let's not sit here and lie. You're very outspoken. Chris O'Dowd reckons X Factor voters are racist. Rough Copy made semi-final. Alexandra Burke and Leona both won it. What is he on about? So you're shutting down, right? All right, cool. Look, he's ran off. To be honest, he can run, mate. But you see, he's apparently, you know what? You see him. He's an editor for a newspaper. Yeah. And from when I saw that girl, that Shawnee girl, you know what? If she's here, if anyone wants to DM her, I'll let her up on the stage, innit? Cause she was saying something. I think she was even in a request. But you know what? Yeah, I'll let her up in it. So if you man want to tell her to come up, I can let her up. But you see this guy that's just come up on there. Every single person knows what this guy's just come and done. You all know what he's doing. You all know what he's trying to do. He thinks this is all a joke. Yeah, that's what he's just tried to come and do. Ed, you can fuck yourself. I'll tell you that because you see all of this bullshit and this fun and joke that you're trying to do. You can't do it with me to my face. I'll tell you that for free. I can even see from your fucking Twitter accounts, all your tweets, that mate, you look like someone that has got a fucking agenda. If someone in there said black people adopting was like child abuse, wouldn't they be ejected? You see this guy's what, bro, this guy's giving me racist vibes. I've added it to the Jumbotron, guys. He's giving me racism vibes. If someone in there said black people adopting was like child abuse, wouldn't they be ejected? Look at the shit that he's tweeting. And this is the guy, this is a man who he's an editor at Hot TV, column in Daily Star and Daily Star Sunday. That's what he does. That's what he does. You know what, Ed? You're still in the listeners and you're listening right now. You're probably calling all your friends, telling them, haha, I made fun of this guy who's talking about racism on his Twitter space. Because you think it's a joke. You don't know anything about racism. You think this is all hilarious. This is all